Hello there, YouTube. What is going on? It's me, Gabriel Neal here, founder at Weather Buddies Forecasting Central. You guys are having a wonderful day. I'm glad to hear that. This is going to be my third, not my final, but my third winter weather forecast for December, January, and February for 2023 to 2024. I hope you will enjoy this. If you do, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, give the video a thumbs up, share with family and friends. Don't forget to ring that bell notification icon to keep up with the latest. I also want to quickly note to you, this video is for entertainment purposes only, so if you have any questions and stuff like that about weather, about the forecast or stuff, please consult your local NWS for the best results. Thank you. Let's get started with the video. Alrighty, here is our winter weather forecast for 2023-2024. Let's hope in part 3 of 4. Alright, here we go. We want to start you off with El Nino and what's going on in the Pacific Ocean, because that is one of the main drivers of what's making what's affecting our weather pattern. As you can tell, there is a very strong El Nino right now in the central and eastern Pacific. It was a little bit stronger about a week ago. It has weakened a little bit, but it's expected to peak out sometime either at the end of this month or the beginning of December. We're not actually totally sure when it'll actually peak out, but we're going to keep an eye on this to make sure that, so my next winter weather forecast may change a lot. So there's El Nino, that whole area I just highlighted. The Pacific Meridional Mode, if you guys don't know what that is, it's this little area of blue water. It's negative right now, and I say that because it's blue. And then, of course, there's the PNA and the NAO. As you can tell, the PNA is negative. Clearly you can tell because it's blue. And the NAO is above average. So, at this time, the weather, this is our current SST anomaly map. Okay, so, alright, let's move on to the next slide. So what we got here? So this is the, El Nino, or ENSO forecast for this winter going into the upcoming spring. And as of right now, they still have this thing at 100% for the next 3 to 6 months. And actually, well, this isn't the next 3 to 6 months, but the next 2 to 4 months. And as you can tell, it's still well above 100%. Okay, but let's look at a specific date we're looking at here. We are looking at December, January, and February. Again, because that's the midwinter. Right there, it is still at 100%. Oh, and if you don't, I meant to tell you guys this. Red is El Nino, gray is neutral, and blue is La Nina. Okay, so just wanted to clarify that with you guys real quickly. But for December, January, and February, we are still expecting a really high chance of El Nino during that time. It does start to dwindle off, actually pretty significantly going into the next summer. In the next summer. It's still consistently strong, but it does start to really, the chances of it start to go off significantly. And, yeah. We got another forecast model similar to this one, but this other one's slightly different. Alright, so here we go. This one's pretty much doing the exact same thing the previous one was doing. The next 2 to 4 months at 100%, and it just starts to tail off significantly. Again, red is El Nino, blue is La Nina, and gray is neutral. As you can tell, for the winter months, here's the winter. Sorry about that, guys. So as you can tell, fix that there. As you can tell, it's pretty much saying the same thing the previous model was saying. About 100% chance of an El Nino to continue through December, January, and February. Yes, it is definitely a powerful El Nino. We are still uncertain what kind of weather this thing's going to bring this year, because other teleconnections have been kind of out of place at the moment, though the main driver is El Nino. So I just thought I'd bring that up. Alright, you ready for the next one? Alright. This is my El Nino watch. This is like a new thing that I started releasing on the recent past videos that I did. We are under an El Nino watch. Okay, so my forecast for the winter months has increased from 95 to 100%. El Nino remains strong at this time, which is true because you saw on that previous slide with the SST anomalies. During the winter months, El Nino is expected to remain at a strong pace. However, next spring is expected to downgrade to an El Nino advisory. I just want to quickly mention to you guys the El Nino advisory is hold on a second. I need a sip of water. Okay, the El Nino advisory is weaker than an El Nino watch, and the reason why I'm calling for an El Nino advisory next spring is because it is expected to dwindle, as you saw in those previous models, the graphs. So yeah. All right, we're going on to our next slide. Here we go. All right, so again, I labeled this, and there's a good reason why I labeled it, because this particular product can confuse a lot of people. So, but it's not that confusing once you get to know how it works. Over here, I circled over there, is South America. Over here is Australia. Going down, you're going into the ocean. As you go down. So as you're looking down here where all this red is at, that's deeper into the ocean. As you can tell, at the surface is right here where I'm highlighting, like right there. That's the surface, okay, guys? Okay, so down here, there definitely is a big pocket of warm water, especially towards the 3.4. I think if I got that right, yeah, the 3.4 region. In the 4 region, but as you can tell, we really want to look at this area right here. This is the area where for me, I know it sounds funny, but I would call it the little forecasting hot zone. And as you can tell, what I mean by forecasting hot zone, I'll explain that to you in a second. But as you can tell, there's a lot of warm water still there, about 150 meters deep into the ocean. And as you look up towards this way, you got warm waters as well. Now, why do I call it the forecast hot zone? I call it that because a lot of the times that there's hot or cold water right in this area, it tends to upwell this way. And when it upwells in that direction, it causes this whole surface to be full of warm water, including this area as well. Okay? Between 170 degrees east and 140 degrees west. So I hope that makes sense. Again, I try to do the best I can to explain that, but that's basically what that is. Yeah. So we are moving on to the next thing now. The Southern Oscillation Index. Again, this is another one of those things that need to be explained, so you understand how it works. You have a yellow dotted line. That's the 90-day outlook, and you have a red solid line. The one you want to look at is the red solid line. Now, let me explain this. I don't explain this in my previous videos. Let me just explain this again. The yellow dot line is not accurate when it comes to current SOI light conditions. Okay, let me explain this. You want to look at the red solid line. Now, the reason is because this one's more updated. Now, let me show you what I'm looking at here. Oopsies. Okay, so 30-day average is the red solid line. The the dotted yellow line is the 90-day average. It would be more updated if you use the red line versus the yellow line, and because it's 30 days. Now, let me just explain this to you. Now, this is not too difficult to explain, but as you can tell, the reading says for the last 30 days negative 9.39. What does that mean? And that's in millibars. Okay, what does that mean? Then when it's a negative? Well, usually, oftentimes, when the Southern Oscillation Index, that's what it's called, or the SOI, is in a negative, it usually means it's El Nino. It's in El Nino conditions. Now, it has to be 7 negative or higher. So let me just show you. I can just actually show you that over here. See that See that negative 7 over there? That has to be higher. It has to be below that to count as El Nino. Now, the other way around, which with La Nina, it would have to be 7 plus. So it actually wouldn't have a negative symbol, it would be 7. So it would be 7 plus for 30 days to count as a La Nina. As of right now, our 30-day average is almost a negative 10 millibars. So we're going to keep monitoring this, though, because the SOI did have a little bit of a peak a couple weeks ago. It did peak out briefly in neutral conditions, and it went right back down in the El Nino. Now, it is kind of going back up again, as you can tell right there. So you can't see the arrow very well, but yeah. Next thing. Now we're moving on to the actual forecast, okay? Because this is the stuff you guys have been wanting in this video. I did take NOAA's Outlook, okay, and it does say valid to the winter right there. well above average temperatures to the north there, while near normal in the I guess you're gonna call the lower southern plains, if you want to call it that, and the rest of the country equal chances. So this is new. I never seen that before, but this is new, and I assume it's just near normal conditions. I haven't seen that NOAA's outlooks in a long time, but the northern part of the U.S. is expected to stay mild and warm. Character to El Nino. Okay, it's normal. It's characteristic to El Nino. I'm gonna tell you real quickly, guys. When I do show my forecasts, they're very excuse me. They are very characteristic to El Nino. So the forecast that I'm going to show you from these people, not just NOAA, but the CFS as well, my forecasts are going to look a little bit different, and the reason is because of El Nino. These models are some of these models are insisting that El Nino is not going to happen, but I do believe it will. Okay, so that's the temperature outlook from NOAA. Okay, again, valid for December, January, and February. Now this is our precipitation forecast. I do believe this is spot on when it comes to El Nino. I also believe it's good right here. Also, California, Nevada, parts of Arizona. They did, however, right over New Mexico and Texas, they put like equal chances there. I don't think that is actually right because, it makes sense because they have the southern branch. So I do think that there is going to be above average precipitation within this area. It's not going to be right directly over New Mexico or Texas, but it's going to be in that general area. Now, for the northern part of the United States, below average in Montana and below average in Michigan. And yes, I'm sorry, Michiganders. I hate to tell you this, it looks like you guys are going to have a below average winter. And I know you guys have been needing the rain and any precipitation you guys can get, but it just doesn't look like that's going to happen right now. So again, for you guys in Michigan, I'm so sorry that you guys are dealing with the dry weather. I hope for the best that you guys will have a good winter, but we'll have to wait and see. Equal chances, of course, between the wet and the below. Now this is kind of, like I said, it is kind of El Nino characteristic, but they're showing this weird slot of equal terrain chances. I don't know what that's about. But alright, now I think we're moving on to the CFS next, I believe. So this is the CFS outlook. Way different from what the NOAA's forecast is calling for. Again, let's see, December, January, February. As they're calling for a really wet, like, I mean, we're talking about, like, an atmospheric river over California. That's where it's going to target at the most. Occasional splashes of above average in these areas, in Texas and Colorado and parts of New Mexico. But we have a really well below average, and I do think this is somewhat true, but not this whole area. But there's a below average right over Georgia and Alabama. Georgia and Alabama. I had to think there for a second. The Carolinas are going to see some storms, which is going to be nice. And then again, of course, the New England states are also going to be below average. But I think this below average is a little too hyped up right here in the lower Midwest region. So yeah. Moving on to the temperature. Now, I know what you guys think. Like, why did he have to add that in there? Well, I did it because it's hard to explain, but this whole area is under above average temperatures. But what I do with these particular maps, okay, with these temperature maps, anywhere where there's like neutral or slightly above average conditions, let's say for Florida, for instance, or the interior New England states, well, I picture those areas as either equal chances normal or below average. Okay, so like look at the desert Southwest, for example. There's lighter shades of red. So in those areas, it's going to be slightly below average, probably for Arizona and southern tip of California there. Maybe parts of New Mexico and Colorado, but this area right here in my forecast kind of calls for a similar pattern. This area right here is going to be probably not like this. I mean, you guys will have occasional Arctic intrusions, Arctic chill cooldowns, whatever you want to call them. You guys will still get those, but they just won't be very frequent. if that makes sense. Okay, so we're moving on to our next. We need to move on because this video is getting kind of long. So, all right, are you guys ready for the best part? My forecast. Here we go. Again, very similar to what they were calling for, but as I was saying, across the south and southeastern half of the United States, below average. I know that model was pretty excited when it came to warm weather. I'm not sure why, but again, for the almost the whole northern half of the United States, it's going to be above average, while the desert Southwest and parts of the this little sliver I just drew right here are average temperatures. Okay, as you can tell, this is my little. I'm going to be adding this to my forecast for now on because these meters are becoming real handy. So yeah. All right, here we go. Precipitation outlook. Again, well, it looks a lot like NOAA's a little bit, but the only difference is there's a below average. And the reason why I added this right there is because of what the CFS was saying. Some of the other models were calling for below average. Below average across the very far northern tier of the United States, while pretty much a storm track like that across the southern half of the United States. I did put California in the third green because I put them in that. Wait, let me erase it. I put them in that green right there because given the fact that we may have a very strong atmospheric river. And yeah, and don't get me wrong, people that are like New Mexico and Texas and Oklahoma, people in those areas will get hit by storms as well. I do believe that like I said, this is going to change probably in my next forecast, my next winter weather forecast. So it could be a big change from that. As of right now, though, I'm calling for equal chances across those states I just shouted: Oklahoma, Texas, and New Mexico. While the northern, Montana, the Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the upper northern peninsula of Michigan are going to be below average. And, of course, across the lower Midwest region. Okay. All right, we got two more slides to go here. There we go. Winter. This is the Snowfall Outlook. Again, kind of very similar to what it was a couple slides ago. Very below average across the northwestern half of the United States. You're probably wondering, why did he circle this area in blue? Well, because the Sierra Nevada and parts of this area that I just circled in, just highlight this whole area. Because we're going to have like a jet stream doing something like, let me redo that, because that's not right. So we're going to have a jet stream doing something like this. And we will get nor'easters too this winter, I'll tell you that. But since the jet stream is doing something like that, there's going to be some above average snowfall. Most of what's going to happen though in New Mexico and Arizona, and I just want to quickly shout this out, that the above snowfall average you're seeing there, or above average snowfall I should be saying, is actually due to mountains. The mountain, it's going to be all uplifting. So a lot of what you're seeing in this area is all going to be supported by uplifting, if that makes sense. Well, then let me just work on the rest of the country here. And while the Mid-Atlantic, most of the Mid-Atlantic going interior, can experience slightly above average snowfall as well. While the north, almost the whole northern half of the United States is going to experience below average, like Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, Washington, and not really so much Oregon. They're kind of going to be out of this one, out of this drive, so that's lucky for Oregon. And Minnesota. So those are the areas that are going to experience cooler than, or drier than normal weather. Now let me just quickly note you guys real quick, these anomalies that you guys are seeing are based off of average, not based off of average, but based off of chance. So just thought I'd point that out real quickly. Alright guys, we got one more slide to show you and I'll let you guys go. Yes, it looks like a mess, but like I said before, this is my overall forecast, and some of you who understands how to read these, pretty sure you're excited to see them. So let's start from the West Coast and move east. How does that sound? Alright, now I'm not going to do state by state. I'm going to do mostly just region, okay? So for the northwest, warm and dry. For the inner mountain west, cool and normal precip. A little bit further to the south of that, cold and snowy, okay? For the Sierra Nevada, northern Arizona, and northern New Mexico. And for the southern parts of that area, though, deep into the southwest, average temps and wetter, okay, because of El Nino. And typical snowfall for the mountains, that's common. I'm going to be honest with you though, the typical snowfall for the mountains is probably going to be slightly below average because of the area up here that is made below average, but you're still going to have a typical snowfall in the mountain areas. Very few Arctic cooldowns. Now, the reason why I do have that in there is because they're going to happen. They're going to come. You're gonna get Arctic cooldowns. They're just not gonna be very frequent. So that's a very few Arctic cooldowns in that area. Cold and above average, cold and above average snowfall for that area because typically the southern subtropical branch can sometimes, and when it's enhanced, sometimes they'll go. Oopsies, wrong size. Sometimes when it's enhanced, sometimes they'll go all the way through here, especially if it's very strong. So I do believe that the jet stream is going to do that this winter. It's going to extend into this area. So cold and above average snowfall for Oklahoma, Kansas, and parts of Texas and New Mexico. There you go. And then, of course, for the Midwest, then we're going to move north here. Wintry, mix, and chilly. I do believe, yes, you guys are going to get lake effect snow too, but not a whole lot. So that's why I put wintry, mix, and chilly because of El Nino. So you guys are still going to get some snowstorms, but they're just not going to be very significant, at least from what I'm understanding. Winter battle zone just in the south of that, so people in Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas, eastern part of Texas, and parts of Georgia will be affected by the winter battle zone, where basically all kinds of weather patterns are going. Stormy weather, severe weather, I should be saying, winter weather, thunderstorms, that's pretty much the whole bag. So that's basically what the winter battle zone is, if you guys are wondering what that is. And for Florida, wet and mild. I do believe they are going to have a pretty wet winter because of El Nino. Just very the slender part up the coast, basically just practically up the coast, cool. So it's not going to be. It's not going to. You probably will get some nor'easters in that area, but it's mostly going to be cool. And for way up here in the New England states, cool and wet. And last but not least, nor'easters. Yes, those I think are going to happen this year because of El Nino. So we are going to get some nor'easters in New York, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and the Carolinas. So let's keep an eye on that and see what happens. But that is my last slide, y'all. And hope this video didn't go too long, but I hope you enjoy. If you guys again love weather-related content, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Share the video with family and friends. And don't forget to ring that bell notification icon to keep up with the latest. I also have a Discord server that I'll be posting in there if you guys want to join. Alright? Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.